Sunday. So yesterday was Rudy's birthday, and he had given a hope, a prayer that all of his devotees and everything. Positive. And this is something that Rudy has been speaking about for years. As long as the importance of being positive. And this was frankly so outside of my care that I didn't understand what it meant for the longest time. I was not always positive. One day when we were walking, I have a question. Yeah. Why should we be positive? Isn't it also delusional? You know, the purpose of life is to not be delusional. But if I choose to be positive, then it's exactly like choosing to be negative. It's still limited. Why should I be positive? Shouldn't I be in the moment? Encourages. I said, yes, that is true. We should be in the moment. However, positivity is the doorway to the moment. We must analyze ourselves and say, well, am I free? Am I jumping to other places than exactly the answer? If it wasn't, I would be enlightened. I'd be free. So clearly, as I don't have those things, my mind is still jumping around. So I must train it to be positive. We know this actually. When we are positive, our mind isn't. We're happy. We're just here in the moment. Everything's good. Everything's great. You know, if we look back on our life, we'll always find those moments. Maybe it was the day we were married. Maybe it was the day that we graduated high school. I didn't go to college. To the ashram, so I don't know. Maybe when you graduated college. Narasimha Chatterjee. Yes, that was great. In that moment, there was no other thought of past or present. Just this moment existed in everything, wasn't it? So the question is why? Why then do later my mind starts jumping around in that feeling, that knowledge that everything is perfect goes on? As we know, as spiritual people, in every tradition, they speak about this. Krishna speaks about it in chapter 5, verse 3. He says, one who neither resents nor desires anything is a true renunciate. Whoever is free from the pairs of opposites is easily liberated from bondage. That's a tall order to say, don't be touched by opposites. If you go to take a shower in the morning and your hot water heater has blown up and you get cold water, you should not despair. You should still be happy, not be touched by the hot and colds of the water. I'm going to be honest. But what helps us to go beyond it? some type of mental flogging to say, no, this is all the same. Sure, that's one way. But that is not the way of a bhakta. The way of a bhakta to transcend the opposites is to see the positivity in life. The reason why we forget that everything is perfect is because of millions of lifetimes we have samskaras of being afraid, we have samskaras of desire, we have samskaras of believing we need something else to be complete. But when we are positive, we say, okay, yeah, one day of cold water, and that's fine. How many days of hot water have I had? And frankly, I live in Elmira, New York. I live in the West, so it's easy. I just call a plumber and they come and fix it, no problem. Other places in the world, they don't have running water. This positivity sets us free. And if we really analyze spirituality, we'll see that when we are really spiritual, we also become actually good human beings, happy human beings. Spirituality and our humanness are not so separate as we like to think. Because when we're positive, we'll be able to look at our life and go, my God, I have so many blessings. So many. I mean, innumerable, actually. I could give a 3-hour satsang just being about all the great things in my life, starting with all of you in this temple in Guruji. It's amazing. How much problems do we really have in our life? Very, very, very little. The reason we see so many problems is also our life. When we were cave people, it made sense. It made sense to see problems and death in the face every single day. It made sense. If I eat a berry, I better remember that this was poisonous and I better not have it. That made sense. But how often are we looking death in the face? Never. Never. I reached the applause in here today, but he, some years ago, right at the beginning of the book, actually, I had his verse. And I was by luck, intrigued to come on in Germany. And I went to the nurse there at the ashram. I said, I'm not feeling so good. Of course, she worked in ER, so when someone says, I don't feel so good, she's like, yeah, you're fine, just walk up. So I go to her, she's like, oh, so bad. She says, so we've known each other. She was fine. You're fine. I said, okay. Next day, I said, no, really, I can barely stand. Like, I'm not good. And she goes, you're fine. I said, okay. But something inside of her on the third day, talk about it. She touched where my appendix was, and she was like, you should go to the hospital very quickly. And I went, is something wrong? She goes, you'll be fine. Well, anyways, take a blood pressure. And the nurse, she just thought I was drunk. I tried telling her, like, no, don't drink. Because they're German. And I was like, no, really. And so the doctor comes in, he touches, and he was like, tomorrow, first thing, you gotta go in for surgery. So that night, they're like doing their stuff, looking at everything. And while the doctor is examining, I'm sitting with Jigopal, making jokes, and the doctor, I'm like, I'm sure the doctor jokes with him, and he's looking at me like, okay, that's totally fine. And he said, you could die. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Well, I've lived a great life. And he's like, afterwards, when he finally finished, he turned to me and he said, you are really in the die, aren't you? I said, no, why should I? Because I know where I'm going. Where are we going? Obviously, to the eternal abode. But how can we have such positivity? Do we want to live a life of fear? Do we want to live a life where every moment we think death is looking us in the face? The answer is no, of course not. And that's why we must train ourselves to be positive. Because does God want us to be sad? Does God want us to be upset? Does God want us to be afraid? No, that's literally what Narasimha stands for. That He will take care of everything in our life. Everything in our life. Krishna says in the next chapter, in chapter 6, he says, one should raise oneself by one's own mind and not allow oneself to fall. For a controlled mind is one's friend, and an uncontrolled mind is one's enemy. One should raise oneself with one's own mind. What does that mean? That means we need to psych ourselves out. We must recognize that we are often the opposite of psyching ourselves out. We wake up and say, oh God, another day. Oh, we have all this work to do. Oh, I have to do my sadhana. Oh, I have to study the Gita. Oh, I have to go to prayers. I have to deal with the same people again today. Isn't it? Oh, I have to go see my boss today. So we are psyching ourselves out, but in a negative way. What a terrible way to live life. And if we put that to our spirituality, we'll see we'll go nowhere. Because if I have such negativity and such doubts, and I project them onto my spiritual path, I will believe that no matter how much I come to the temple, life will not change. I will not be happy. I will project my negativity and my doubts upon my kriya, upon my meditation, upon my job, and say, it doesn't matter how much I chant the Lord's name. I will not change, life will not change. But that's not the truth. And I know that for myself. That's what I'm saying. I was not always so positive. I believe, luckily, I have the grace to be very much active in Kriya Yoga and teaching. And I've seen Kriya Yoga change the lives of tens of thousands of people, literally, all throughout the world. A little bit of practice every day will change your life. But I believed I was the only person in the whole world that would not help. I believed it. I fully believed it. Because I would look at myself and all I would see was negativity. I would see all of my negative thoughts all of the time. I say, I'm such a terrible person. Until one day, Guruji clearly had enough of my doubts. He could have just been like, hey man, like how many times have I told you specifically how powerful Kriya is? He could have just let me sit there, but he didn't. He came and knocked on my door. He had a new devotee with him, and I opened the door, and Guruji is very dramatic sometimes. He goes, just like this, literally, he goes, what is this energy in your room? And I look at Guruji, and Guruji's been in my room 10,000 times. And I'm just like, what? And of course, I see next to him this new devotee, and I went, I understand. So I'm like, so that this new devotee is like, hey, we like Tustas, you know. And I go, I don't know, Guruji. And he goes, wow, what do you do? And I went, my Kriya, Guruji. And he goes, yes, that's what it is. Wow. And then he made himself have goosebumps. He goes, look, wow, so much energy. I'm getting goosebumps. And this devotee's like, wow, Tulsidas is amazing. And I'm like, okay, take your day. Guruji's like, have you had dinner yet? I said, no, but I need to finish my Kriya. He goes, yes, finish your Kriya and then come for dinner. And I go, yes, Guruji. I was like, good. And I think, oh my God, all right, sure. Because of course in that moment I couldn't debate. I finish my Kriya, I go down for dinner, and when I walk into the dining, everybody stops. This giant dining, like almost the size of this temple. Imagine you walking in, and everybody, and then, and they all go. And I think, oh, shh, that hurts. Oh, shucks. I heard this new devotee is ran around and told everybody what Guruji said. So I walk in, I grab my food, and I go sit down. There's only one place left. It's right next to the new devotee. And I sit down, and all my brothers there, they go, just do what Guruji said. room. And I went, mm-hmm. Of course, he's sitting right there, so I can't correct him and say, it's just me. Clearly, it's from him, it's not from me. Obviously, come on, look at me. I'm such a terrible person. So this is just a game. So what is Guruji? Guruji is sitting on the other side of the dining hall, called the door, and kneel next to him. And now whispering, just enough for him and I to hear, he says, I'm serious. I've never felt that energy in anyone's room. And I looked at him and said, keep going. And while he said that, I felt these doubts from inside my heart slowly dissipate. And this power energy underneath all that darkness came. Of course, is my room special? It is not. Well, it is to the partners. No, the room was not special. For sure, that wasn't the truth. Even if you do not see, I see. Even if you do not know the power of the temple, I know the power. Even if you do not know the power of your kriya, I know the power of your. Even if you do not know the power of your japa, I know the power of japa. Even if you do not know the power of positivity, keep going. And in the end, we must remember, we're going to die anyways. So we might as well have a good time. And if I'm going to die the same day, if I'm depressed or happy, I might as well. So positivity is the crux of everything. It is the crux of everything. And we know that. And we know it inside of our own heart. So strive to be positive. It'll make your life better, make the life around people around you better. It'll make the doors of moksha open to you. Okay.